peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right.
We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
Hey yo, my G, where you from?
Guyana.
Ghana?
No, Guyana. Yeah, yeah. Hello, Wagwan. Yeah. I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughters. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, me nah know none was slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free, land of the many waters, resources and trees, land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, a Guyanese, land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians, and Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana, this breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live, land of the biggest one-drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. View from gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city, are the hypest. We see them gyal a wind up in a some liquor tight dress.
We are a peaceful people, Struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, we ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass.
We love the open county of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night.
Good evening, fellow Guyanese. I have been bombarded by vile aspersions which have been hurled at me by Azzuddin Mohammed, an international fugitive offender, and his supporters. In my over 45 years of public life, with acknowledged valued contributions to humanity, democracy, rule of law, and service to our people, more than 33 of which have been spent as an elected official in our country. I have never experienced such vile attacks, not even in the dark days of the People's National Congress. I have every intention of continuing in my tenure as Speaker to honor and uphold the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana without fear or favor, affection or ill will. Also, I have an obligation to preserve the dignity of the House. I intended to discharge my duties to the House and our people, regardless of the nastiness, the haranguing, and the vitriol being spewed by Honorable Azzuddin Mohammed and other elected opposition members of the House. Also, I will respond to some uninformed comments made by some members of our diplomatic community. The positions expressed by some sections of the media, some diplomats, and opposition members, which give the impression that the National Assembly has been deliberately been inactive. They are false and outright absurdity. Our 13th Parliament, from the time it was convened on November 3rd, has been functional. In excess of 90 questions and 5 motions have been received by the clerk, analyzed, processed, and decisions communicated to opposition members. Among the comments made by some members of the diplomatic community include the election of the leader of the opposition in a speedy manner. To the US ambassador to Guyana, I ask, who is the leader of the opposition in your country? Does the absence of an opposition leader interfere with your country's democratic process? To my dear friend Sebastien from the Canadian High Commissioner, your great democracy took 6 months to produce a budget last year. And your country has the unique distinction of having a person who was never elected to parliament serve as a prime minister, a person imposed on the citizens of Canada by the former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. We acknowledge with gratitude, much appreciation, the work of the diplomatic community historically for the support of democracy in our country. A democracy which has been restored in 1992, and a democracy which has been strengthened, fortified, and continues to be developed, especially with the changes introduced by successive People's Progressive Party civil governments. I speak of the largest and most comprehensive committee system, which is in our National Assembly and which outshines most of the Commonwealth Caribbean. I speak of the introduction of the rights commissions in our Constitution. I speak of the introduction of the Integrity Commission, the Public Procurement Commission, the Local Government Commission, the Ethnic Relations Commission, and of course, the expansion of the private media in our country. These are unprecedented in our history, and more particularly, they uphold our people's right to freedom of expression and freedom of association. I have been carrying over these past few weeks a great burden. As I read, as I watched, and I listened to the comments hurled at the staff of Parliament and at the Speaker, at being badgered by lies being spread by Starboard News and by the nasty comments being spewed by Azuddin Mohammed, accusing me of corruption and many other things. Truth be told, neither my family nor I have ever been sanctioned and indicted by the United States or any court. The most recent events and slanders against me have reminded me of the darkest days in Guyana's political history. The last occasion I found it necessary to make a public statement was after an attack on my home in 2000 by the People's National Congress and their supporters. In fact, as I speak right now, those events are being mirrored outside of my home in Eccles, being staged by international fugitive Azuddin Mohammed and his supporters. That's happening at this moment. They have carried on surveillance. They've impunged on my privacy and my family's privacy. They've made threat against the safety of my family and I have a constitutional right to peace, enjoyment of my home, and this has been repeatedly violated by Azuddin Mohammed and his supporters. This is the truth. I am not sanctioned by a US court. I am not indicted by a US court. I am not a fugitive. While a person is innocent until proven guilty, if called to face charges, a person's action should not be running away. If innocent, persons should face the charges before them in a court of law. I did find myself going to Soku to answer some charges, and I faced up there. I have a responsibility, as I said earlier, to preserve the dignity of the House. I have found myself in this difficult position to hold the election of the leader of the opposition when I know that the presumptive leader of the opposition to be elected, Ashuddin Mohammed, is an international fugitive. My work for democracy, humanity, and service to our parliament has been globally recognized. I want to quote from a congratulatory message sent to me only recently by His Excellency Mr. Martin Chongong, the Secretary General of the 183 member Interparliamentary Union. And I quote, "We have been fortunate to count on you among the champions of the IPU for many years, notably as the former chair of the BRULAC and at present as co-chair of the Parliamentary Committee for the World Trade Organization. Guyana has been a key actor in effective interparliamentary diplomacy, most recently under your leadership. Your championing of the Caribbean community's important role within the IPU is all the more crucial at a time when global multilateralism is under threat, with growing risk of alienation of small developing states, many of which are located in the Caribbean. I and the entire Interparliamentary Union are grateful to the advocates of the International Parliamentary Corporation, such as yourself, and for your contribution to ensuring every country, no matter their size or economic might, has a seat at the table. Unquote. And I want to thank the Secretary General of the IPU for those generous, kind, and heartening comments on my stewardship as Speaker and as a representative of our Parliament at the Interparliamentary Union. I intended upon my return from representing our National Assembly and our country at the 28th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth, which was recently held in New Delhi. I'd intended to convene the meeting for the election of the leader of the opposition, regardless of how that vote would go. If opposition members of parliament feel it morally right to elect an international fugitive, then the stain on our parliament and our country rests solely with them. This likelihood has been unprecedented in our Westminster parliamentary system. Pablo Escobar, while he may be a role model for some, went down the route of becoming an honorable member of parliament. Extortion, money laundering, terrorism, and trafficking were all associated with Pablo Escobar. Same as the internationally indicted fugitive offender. Pablo Escobar had also a darling in the press. Even as we speak, the opposition leader in Singapore is on the verge of being expelled for lying. I am not going to be intimidated by any backyard or front yard bully. And I use those words I used in the last parliament when I addressed the then opposition leader, Joe Harmon. I am proud of my upbringing in our Boyston. It didn't break me, but it strengthened my resolve to fight for the people of our country. No international fugitive, no wanted man or woman, nor their acolytes inside or outside of the house will face me. In the discharge of my constitutional duties, which rest solely within my purview, I have asked the clerk of the National Assembly to convene a meeting of all the non governmental members of Parliament for 10 a.m. on Monday, the 26th of January, 2026. And this is for the election of the leader of the opposition. I pray, I trust that those involved in this process of electing the leader of the opposition would be guided by the dignity of the House, the reputation of our country, and the sanctity of the responsibility that has been entrusted upon them by the electorate. Thank you.